So what we're going to start with, one of the things that we really try and concentrate on is we have a really basic framework of movement, and as practitioners get better and better, we add a little bit of sophistication to it, but the basic skeleton stays the same. What you'll notice the guys are doing at the moment is they have very defined structure with their arms, and what we're trying to do is make sure when there's a point of impact, their arm's not too long, not too short, but if something heavy hits it, that we can withstand that pressure and that force. You'll notice a couple of the guys are doing entries on the outside. In other words, their arm is outside where the line of their opponent is, and a couple of the guys are doing inside entries. It's a little bit like a game of cards. If you have to play the cards as they're dealt to you. So if the hand is on the inside of where our hand is, we have to move forward in that way. If it's on the outside, we have to move forward in that way. To take it around the outside would not be so efficient. It's a little bit more time consuming, and so someone can catch us on the way. The other thing that we're trying to do with these structures is we're trying to set it up so that rather than have a block and strike mentality, basically that structure takes care of both. So rather than decide whether we need to attack or whether we need to defend, we basically just move forward and throw this structure into our opponent. Okay guys, let's step it up a little bit. You had some rocking knees, some broken rhythm. So rocking knees, essentially, my instructor used to say to me, you rock the boat before you sink it, or if you looked at a takedown would be sinking the boat. Rocking knees, essentially, they're just to destroy someone's base for a split second or two. And what we're trying to do is basically create a brief moment where they're not hitting us really hard, and also create a situation where someone has to regain their balance. So when someone tries to regain their balance, generally their head stops moving for a split second. That split second is really when we follow up and strike. So what you'll notice is a little rocking knee on the inside there from Joseph, and after he follows that up with his attack. You'll also notice that the different guys here, different heights, different statures, we've got taller guys, we've got shorter guys and so forth. People will attack in different ways to suit their own body structure. So Declan, for example, is shorter and stockier, he's got a very strong grip. Declan headbutts, it suits him. For someone my height to headbutt someone wouldn't be so advantageous, especially if I'm trying to headbutt someone lower. It takes me a lot longer to get my head in the right spot, and all the way down I can get hit by them headbutting me. Kyle, on the other hand, likes to strike instead. When we talk about rhythm or breaking rhythm, and it's a term that Bruce Lee made very famous, and my instructor I think had a similar view on it. If we change the rhythm in which we do things, it's much harder for someone to keep up with what we're doing, and it's much easier for us to strike them, hurt them. And he always used to say to me, it's the strike that you don't see is the one that hurts you the most, not necessarily the most powerful one. I can remember early on, he lined me up and he looked like he was punching me in the shoulder really hard, and he said, look, you need to tell me which one hurts the most. And he punched me hard in the shoulder, and the second time around he started to punch and poke me in the ribs with a finger. So when we break the rhythm, the whole intent is to hit someone at a moment when they're not expecting it. But once again, we're in the same framework of movement. If you look at what the guys are doing now, it's really not looking a lot different to what they were doing to start off with. But essentially, it feels a lot different to the guy on the receiving end. You notice over here what Wade's doing after his strike is disengaging. So what we try and do after we've let some strikes go, whether or not they're successful or not, because in a split second we might think we've done well or not done well, we really don't know. What Wade's doing is stepping around to the blind side. Maybe he's finished this guy off, maybe he hasn't. But if we're not sure, step to the blind side, get yourself offline. So we try and make that habitual movement that we do. All right, guys, for you that want to get into it, you can start adding some rams to that as well. That's fine as well. So ramming technique, as it was described to me, is not really a kick, it's not really a knee, it's not really a block, it's not really a strike. It kind of sits in that middle ground between all of it. And what we're really trying to do is fill in that piece of the chessboard or the draft board where kicks in particular, or low-level attacks need to come through to us. So what Kyle's doing at the moment, if Joseph doesn't get his leg up, Kyle's foot's going to hit him in the groin. If Joseph's leg comes up, as in Joseph's trying to kick, whether it be a side kick or a front kick or a back kick or anything of that nature is going to the lower coordinates, Kyle's got a structure in between him and what that kick would be. Alright, just go back to stand entries again, and guys, we can throw some 2 o'clock punches in, just so we can showcase that as well. So a 2 o'clock punch is something that my master had taught me, and when he says 2 o'clock, so there's 12, there's 3, there's 1, 2 o'clock's about here. it's a point on the clock. And the reason why 2 o'clock's a pretty good spot to throw a punch from is because we have gravity going for us, but we also have a centrifugal force motion as well. So we're adding 2 power sources to 1. The disadvantage to it is it's slow. We just put our hand there, someone's going to see if we're going to move, they're going to strike us or whatever. So our rocking knees and broken rhythm are the ways that we set the strike up. So we know it hits hard, but if we just lift our hand up in the air and try and hit someone, then we're going to have a lot of trouble making that work. So we always break the rhythm, rocking knee or something first and set that strike up. Okay guys, if you want to open it up, get down, you can move it. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to finish off. This is fairly representative of standard training sessions. So we have some fairly strict confines in how we practice our basic movement, and then it gets open a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. So towards the end of the session, we're mixing it up a lot more. You'll notice over here with Kyle and Joseph, we're representing an attacking motion at times, we're representing an interceptive motion at times, and sometimes it's a bit of both, which is the nature of combat. So it's like the old chaos theory. It's always similar, but it's never exactly the same. So when we train in this manner, what we're trying to do is make sure that we're readying ourselves for those X factors that are going to happen in real life. Nice head like there. Very nice. Thanks, guys. That's cool. Thank you very much, guys. We appreciate it.